Do this for a 413 start on the recap. 41300. All right, get ready, folks. We'll do our recap in 3, 2, 1, because I'm a towel. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. It's been 16 hours and 3 minutes and 12 seconds exactly of deliberations in the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed retrial, and the jurors have gone home for yet another day, ladies and gentlemen. No verdict yet reached. My name is Grant Smith Ellis, and I'm here to catch you up on all the day's action. There were 4 questions asked by the jurors, ladies and gentlemen, and importantly, the 4th question was asked before the jurors got their answer to the first 3 questions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 questions asked by the jurors in the beginning of the day, we're about to hear them. They have to do with whether the jurors could review the Karen clips and whether they were evidence. The question about whether Karen's O.U.I was at 12:45 or at 5 a.m. And then furthermore, a question about whether the jurors could convict on one of the elements of the second offense, manslaughter, O.U.I, without convicting on the top charge, and their example was charge 2.5 O.U.I. So we are going to watch the first 3 questions. We're going to watch the lawyers discuss them, ladies and gentlemen, and then after the lawyers get done with their discussions about the first 3 questions, we're going to hear Judge Cannoni make her kind of decision. Then she's going to read the jurors the questions. Importantly, there's an updated juror form. We're going to, for count 2, we're going to hear Judge Cannoni read in the morning session, or the first 3 questions. Then we're going to jump forward and hear the 4th question asked, and then go about that. So here we go. Let's watch. And the 4th question asked was a doozy, ladies and gentlemen. It was, can the jury find Karen not guilty on count 1 and 3 and hang on the middle count, or do they have to hang on all 3?
Counsel, what I'd like to do is I'm just going to read the questions to you now, so please take your seats. So I'm going to read the questions. I'm going to have them marked. Then I will take a short recess, let you all talk about it, and then come back.
Thank you.
So, all right. So I received 3 questions from the jury. The first one is, they appeared on note cards, so that I don't know what order they came in, but this is the order I got them. This is the order I'm going to read them. What is the time frame for the O.U.I charge? Offense 002, Section 5, O.U.I at 12:45 or O.U.I at 5 a.m.? The second, are video clips of Karen's interviews evidence? How can we consider them? And the third, does convicting guilty on a subcharge, example offense 2, number 5, convict the overall charge? So I will give you some time to consult. I think the first one, I'll hear from you as to what the time frame is, and I don't need to hear from you now. That's pretty clear cut what they're looking for. The second one are video clips of Karen's interviews evidence. How can we consider them? Well, we know they are evidence, and they can give them whatever weight they want. I would also be inclined to give a humane practice instruction, and tell me if you want the digital evidence instruction. It's a little awkward because it would be something like, before you consider any electronic communication in your deliberations, you must first find that it is more likely true than not that the person who appeared in the communication was in fact Karen Reed. So think about that when I come back out. But I think it's appropriate to give a humane practice instruction, and also tell me what you think about what to say about the weight. The third question is a little bit more, I think, unclear as to exactly what they're looking for. Does convicting guilty on a subcharge, example offense 2, number 5, convict the overall charge? What I'm proposing, I gave you both a verdict slip where I included the language. I know yesterday I said they have to be read hand in hand, the jury instructions with the verdict slip. I've incorporated the language from the jury instruction into the verdict slip. I've given each side a copy. When I come out, I'd like your input on whether you think this is appropriate. I would instruct them, as I did before, that they start at the top and work their way down. That's the only thing I did not specifically put in here, but I think it takes it step by step, an analysis to do it. So how much time does the defense want to be able to respond to me?
Perhaps 15 minutes.
Okay. And the Commonwealth?
That will suffice.
Okay. So it's 7 past. Why don't I come out at 25 after, give you 20 minutes?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the best part about this, ladies and gentlemen, since we're in towel recap, you didn't have to live these intense moments live. Oh no, little towels. I have the jump forward for you. We'll jump right back to the moments that things went live.
So I will hear you on the first question, the time of the O.U.I. Any suggestions?
Your Honor, do you want to hear from the defense first?
I'll hear from you're standing up, so I'll hear from you first.
Okay. On question number 1, what is the time frame for the O.U.I. charge, offense 002, section 5, O.U.I. at 12:45 or O.U.I. at 5 a.m.? Our suggestion would be something along the lines of, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have the evidence. It's your decision.
You are the fact finder.
You're the fact finder.
Mr. Brennan, or whomever from the Commonwealth?
My suggestion would be 12:45.
And why is that?
The case has always been focused at that time. I don't think there's anything specific in the indictment regarding the time.
Do we have the indictments?
No.
If it's not in the indictment, I'm uncomfortable telling them a time.
I'm sorry?
If it's not in the indictment, I'm uncomfortable telling them a time.
Understood.
All right.
I agree with the court on principle. I just don't have the indictment memorized, so I don't remember. If we can pull that up.
There's no time? I don't expect that there's any time.
All right. So I'll say you have the evidence, and remember, you are the fact finders, or something to that effect. All right. Are the video clips Karen's interviews evidence? How can we consider them? So I'll tell you what I was planning on saying, then you can add to it.
Sure.
Yes, the videos are evidence. Give them whatever weight you think is appropriate to give them. And then I would give the digital evidence instruction and the humane practice instruction.
The only thing I would respectfully ask the court to include in that sentence is give them whatever weight, if any, you deem appropriate.
All right.
If any.
Okay.
Thank you. Otherwise, it's fine.
Okay. What's the Commonwealth's position?
We have a different perspective on that.
Okay.
The first part of the question, are the video clips of Karen's interviews evidence? The answer should be yes.
Okay.
How can we consider them? I think it's fair to say you should weigh the defendant's statements as you would evidence. Since they've been introduced substantively, they are like any other piece of evidence. There's no difference, and there shouldn't be any reflection of a difference in the answer. We didn't introduce any evidence in this case and say you should give it any weight, if any at all. We didn't provide a limiting instruction in any way, and these shouldn't be so limited. This is just like a photograph. It's no different than a physical piece of evidence. And so I think the answer should simply be yes, you should weigh the defendant's statements as you would any other piece of evidence. I do not think the court should give humane practice or digital evidence. It suggests that there's some deterioration or further analysis that is different. Those instructions were already given during the charge. In addition, those instructions are in their hand in the written jury instructions. And so, to put it most simply, as I think that we should, is this is a piece of evidence, and you weigh it like you would any other piece of evidence, whatever they decide, rather than give them guidance to curtail it or to limit it in any fashion.
My only suggestion, Your Honor, is that every single piece of evidence that's provided to them, it's in keeping with Massachusetts laws, in keeping with the responsibility that they have. Every single evidence is given the weight, if any, they deem appropriate. That is not a misapplication of the law. I think the Commonwealth's suggestion suggests in the answer that they should or they have to give those statements weight, and the law is they don't have to give them any weight. So I think the appropriate comment by the court is exactly as the court suggested initially, which is you give it whatever weight, if any, you deem appropriate.
All right, so what I'm going to say is, yes, the videos are evidence. You should weigh the defendant's statements as you would any other piece of evidence and give them whatever weight you deem appropriate. But first, then I'll go and I'll read the electronic communications and the humane practice. That covers it.
I don't have a principled objection to it if the court adds the word "if any."
I understand.
Because I don't want them to think, for instance, the way that it's worded as the Commonwealth suggested it, they have to weigh it the same way they weigh other pieces of evidence. Every single piece of evidence is weighed in and of itself. It's individual to the piece of evidence that's presented. For instance, they could weigh the statements by Ms. Reed. They could give it no weight. Each individual juror could decide, I'm going to dispatch it altogether and give it no weight, while giving another piece of evidence, like whatever that might be, the testimony of one of the ARCA witnesses, complete weight. I think that we need to stress that the clips bear no additional weight, no additional gravity than anything else that they've considered. And the only way to do that is very simply, you give this the weight, if any, that you decide is appropriate. It doesn't, I think, comparing it and contrasting to other pieces of evidence in the case, it's unnecessary, and it tends to suggest they have to give it weight.
Okay. So your objection's noted. Now let's get to the third one. Does convicting guilty on a subcharge, example offense 2 number 5, convict the overall charge? What do you want to say, Mr. Jackson?
Your Honor, I appreciate the effort that the court went to amend the verdict slip as it relates to count 2, and I think there are some excellent suggestions by the court in the verdict slip. By and large, I think question number 3 is answered by the amendments in the verdict slip. So we certainly could say something like, does convicting guilty, the question was, quote, does convicting guilty on a subcharge, example offense 2 number 5, convict the overall charge? The answer is no, obviously. And perhaps we could formulate an answer that says something along the lines of no, new verdict slips have been provided that will make it more clear, or something of that nature. As well as a decision of guilty on the O.U.I. charge 002 number 5 is an explicit acquittal on the higher charges in offense 002, which is a proper statement of the law. And then there are suggestions that we have regarding the edits that the court has made to the verdict slip. And I'm happy to go over those with you and put those on the record.
Okay, go ahead.
With regard to going from the top to the bottom, just under number 1 reads, not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense. We would propose that the court add the language, the consistent language that it's added throughout the verdict slip. If you, quote, if you find the defendant not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense, comma, stop and sign the verdict slip, period. That's the only place that that language doesn't appear, and I think it should appear.
Okay.
The second is a relatively minor issue. However, under number 2, sub 2, the parenthetical check one or both of the following, I think it should say, just to clarify it further, if guilty, comma, check one or both of the following.
All right, I think I'm going to leave it because it appears only under the guilty.
It appears only on?
Under the guilty. So go ahead, I'll hear you further.
Going further, going under number 3, toward the bottom of the page, in the parenthetical that the court suggested, which we find is excellent, if you find the defendant guilty of the lesser offense of involuntary manslaughter, we would simply add that clause.
So we'd have to add it in all of them.
Correct.
Which makes sense. I think
Correct.
we had it in the first one.
Right.
Okay.
And then moving to page 2, at the top of the page under sub 4, again.
Hold on 1 second.
Of course.
Okay.
We had the same suggestion. It appears that the court is not inclined to give it. If guilty, check one or both of the following. And there's a typo. It says the parenthetical
we fixed it.
Check one of. Okay.
Yes. So we changed of to or.
So my only suggestion to that would be to again add the if guilty, comma, check one or both of the following.
Okay.
On that page, going down to the bolded parenthetical, same thing. If you find the defendant guilty of the lesser offense of motor vehicle homicide.
Okay.
Moving down under sub 5, the
We still
O.U.I.
need to say stop and sign the verdict slip.
Right. After the word stop and sign the verdict slip.
Yep.
And then under sub 5, again, the same thing. We just suggested for consistency that it say, if guilty, check one of the following of the both. And the final edit would be in the final parenthetical, the last sentence. If you find, I think her should be changed to the defendant. If you find the defendant not guilty on this offense and all other offenses, check the first box on page 1.
Okay.
And those are the edits that we have suggested for the verdict slip.
Mr. Brennan?
I don't have any disagreement with the edits.
Okay.
The idea of instructing them on the nuance of selecting one guilty or not guilty, I don't think needs to be explained. I think that the edits, this proposed instruction explains it. Yes.
All right. What
I don't have any issue with if you state, if you decide on a lesser included offense, it does not include the earlier offense. And I'm not sure of the exact language that can be. I don't think that's necessary, but that is something I wouldn't have an objection to. But I think the form that you filled it out with the edits is going to be sufficient for them to follow.
What do you think about the defendant's position that if you were to find her guilty of operating under the influence, Mr. Jackson said explicit acquittal. I don't like that language. I think if you find it, it means you have found her not guilty of each of the others.
That would be fine with us.
I think it's better if you find her guilty of any lesser included offense. It would not include the higher offense.
All right.
I think that's just confusing.
So what I planned on doing was bringing them out and giving them each a copy of the amended verdict slip, explaining that it really is consistent with the jury instructions I gave them, but walking them through it. So we start from the top and then explain, if you find the defendant guilty, you're done. Stop, sign the verdict slip, and let the court officer know you have a verdict or something.
I prefer that.
Yeah, I think I'll walk them through it like we do in civil cases.
I don't have any objection to that. The only other thing is the digital instruction.
Yes.
We don't believe that it's necessary. I don't think that we should re-emphasize that, and we're not asking for it.
All right, so you're waiving it?
We're waiving it.
Okay.
Yes,
All
thank
right,
you.
I will do humane instruction, humane practice instruction. So I need 5 minutes, and Tori, your computer, to amend this if we can, and we'll make copies. So we'll bring the jurors in. Let them know that we'll be bringing them in shortly, Tony.
All right, so we'll jump
All
forward.
right, thank you.
We're going to jump forward 5 minutes, folks, to when the jurors actually come in and this happens. We're going to watch this live, so give me 1 second. We're just going to jump forward. All right, here we go. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. We're doing our recap. We're watching the moments. I thought these were important to watch. Jurors about to get read the first 3 questions of the day. We're watching our recap. Today was the first day we saw any movement during deliberation, any questions, and these were the first 3 juror questions. That's actually in the courtroom. Papers.
All right, court, please. Jurors entering.
All right, jurors now entering. It only takes a few seconds. the moments. Here we go. It will only take 30 seconds for the jurors to enter. Then the reading of the answers.
Back in session, you may be seated.
All right, jurors, we're in receipt of your question. We've been working on making sure that the answers we give you are the right ones, so it's taken us a while. So the first question, what is the time frame for the O.U.I. charge? Offense 002, Section 5, O.U.I. at 12:45 or O.U.I. at 5 a.m.? The answer to that question is that you folks have all the evidence. And remember, it's only you who decide the facts in this case. All right? That's the answer to that question. You are the fact finders. The second question, are video clips of Karen's interviews evidence? How can we consider them? Yes, the videos are evidence. You should weigh the defendant's statements in the videos as you would any other piece of evidence and give them whatever weight you deem appropriate. But first, before you may consider any such statement, you're going to have to make a preliminary determination whether it can be considered as evidence. You may not consider any such statement in your deliberations for the truth of any such statement unless, from all the evidence in the case, the Commonwealth has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant made the statement that she's alleged to have made and that she made it voluntarily, freely, and rationally. So that's the answer to that question. So for the third question, does convicting guilty on a subcharge, example offense 2 number 5, convict the overall charge? So with that, what I'm going to do is I have amended the verdict slip. It's the exact same verdict slip, and it's still consistent with the jury instructions I gave you, but it's a little bit easier for you to follow. And for purposes of going through this, we'll go through it together, and I've got a copy for each one of you, okay? All right, so you'll see it really is the same verdict slip, but we've added a little bit of language to help you follow it through. So the first charge, manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. So first, in the above entitled case, we say the defendant is, 1, not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense. If you find the defendant not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense, stop and sign the verdict slip. Now, then you go on to guilty of the offense of as charged, manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. Check one or both of the following: manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor and or manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. If you find the defendant guilty of manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, stop and sign the verdict slip. That means on each one, when you stop and sign the verdict slip, that means you have a verdict on this indictment. So stop and sign the verdict slip. If you find her not guilty of manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, then continue below to the lesser included offense. And first, under 3 is involuntary manslaughter. If you find the defendant guilty of the lesser included offense of involuntary manslaughter, stop and sign the verdict slip. If you find her not guilty of involuntary manslaughter, then continue to the next page. guilty of the lesser included offense of motor vehicle homicide, felony O.U.I. liquor, and negligence. And you have to check one or both of the following: motor vehicle homicide under the influence of liquor and or motor vehicle homicide by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. If you find the defendant guilty of the lesser included offense of motor vehicle homicide, felony O.U.I. liquor, and negligence, stop and sign the verdict slip. If you find her not guilty of motor vehicle homicide under the influence of liquor, then continue below to the guilty of the lesser included offense operating under the influence. And you check one or both of the following: operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor and or operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. If you find the defendant guilty of operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, then stop. If you find the defendant guilty, you stop and you sign the verdict slip. If you find the defendant not guilty on this offense and all other offenses, check the first box on page 1. And remember, your decision must be unanimous. All right, does that make it any clearer, hopefully? All right, so with that, I am going to send you back out.
Before the jurors are set up,
Sure, why don't you come on over?
We're going to watch this sidebar. Keep an eye. I'm not going to comment on this. You just keep an eye on the sidebar in case we catch any hot mics. There were no hot mics, which means we're jumping forward to the fourth question. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to jump forward to when we got the fourth question. Hold on, I forget when this was. I think it was right around here. All right, so let's start with the fourth question. This was the fourth question of the day. The hot mic moment, yeah, that was earlier in the day, Cinnamon Buns. It was before the first deliberations. Let's watch number 4, and then we'll see if we can catch the hot mic moment. But let's watch question number 4.
Jim, can I have that question, please? Thank you. All right, so as counsel knows, we received a question from the jurors. If we find not guilty on 2 charges but can't agree on 1 charge, is it a hung jury on all 3 charges or just 1 charge? I got some input from the defense at sidebar, essentially saying if we could just ignore it. We can't ignore it. To me, it's a theoretical question, and we don't answer theoretical questions. I tell the jurors that they're not to be concerned with the consequences of their verdict, and that's exactly what they're doing here. So I would propose just writing simply, this is not a question I can answer on this, and sending it back.
The defense position is not certainly not for it. I think we can't ignore your question. However, I think that it is apropos, given the timing of when that question came in, literally before the court had answered the other 3 note card questions. I think that it would be appropriate to send a quick note just asking them, given the fact that there's clarity in your other questions, does this answer your question? In other words, can you proceed without any further input by the court regarding that second question?
So that made sense initially, but why ask them, do I really need to answer it, to then tell them I'm not answering it?
Because I think at some point, they need to know what the law is. It's a reporting question. In other words, I don't see it as theoretical, as the court indicated. I see it a little bit differently, which is what are our options? And the options are built in the law, not in theory. If they come back with a verdict on more than 1 count, but they're hung on a separate count, they are to report those 2 counts, whatever counts they came to a verdict on.
So that's for a later time, right? So this is at this point.
Right.
It's premature, it's hypothetical, it's theoretical. I understand your point. I think I disagree with you at this point. It may be something later. The way the question's worded, if I find this, if we do this. I'll hear from the Commonwealth.
We agree it's consequence related. Your first suggestion, I think, is most appropriate, and we would endorse that.
Yeah. I'm going to do that at this time, Mr. Jackson. I'm not going to have a back and forth with them. I'm simply going to say, because it's true, it's the law, that this is not a question I can answer.
Go Your Honor, I would strongly suggest that we find some other way. If that question continues to remain, then they're not going to ask that question. I don't think the court can say, or should say, I can't answer the question, because the court can answer that question. The court absolutely can answer it. I would simply say, this question is not before the court without further information, or something like that. Not the court can't answer that question, because if that question remains in their minds, we're going to end up in the exact same position that we were in last year.
There are other steps that can be taken to perhaps prevent that.
Whatever those steps are, I think the first step down the wrong path is to say, throw our hands up and say, well, we can't answer that question. Well, we know we can answer it.
So I don't know if I want to put you in an uncomfortable position. Ms. Giannetti, I'm inclined to answer the question the way I stated.
Could we have 2 minutes to confer with counsel, John?
How about 1 minute? You guys are 10 minutes late.
1 minute. Thank you.
They tested the court's patience, ladies and gentlemen. They certainly tested the court's patience. Very interesting to watch these moments in hindsight.
Just with a very slight tweak with the court's language, I don't have a principal objection to the court's language that we not answer the question at this time. I would simply ask that the court answer the question as you suggested just now in the court. It's premature to address this question at this time.
No. What do you say, Mr. Brennan? My response was, this is not a question I can answer for the reasons I stated. It's theoretical, and we tell jurors that they cannot be concerned with the consequences of their verdict, and that's exactly what you would be asking me to endorse. What's the Commonwealth's position on the proposed?
I agree with your first suggestion.
Yeah. I'm going to send it in like this. Your objection's noted.
Your Honor, if I could make my record a little bit clearer, the court's indicating that it doesn't answer questions about the consequences of the juror's verdict. That would be punishment. Of course you can't answer a question like that. This is not the consequences of the verdict. It's how do they report a verdict. So I think saying, I can't answer this is sending a false message to the jury. If the court would simply indicate, this is not appropriate for me to address at this time, that assuages all concerns. Certainly assuages our concerns and it protects Ms. Reed's rights. I think that
Well, I think what I could add is this is a theoretical question, not a question I can answer. That does the same thing. Is there an objection? I understand, Mr. Jackson.
add the clause at this time.
Is there an objection to me putting this is a theoretical question, not a question I can answer?
No objection.
Not the court to finish writing, but at this point, that is over our objection.
I understand.
I just want to make sure the record is absolutely clear. That's over our objection. I don't think that's an appropriate answer to a very, very clear question that could be answered in an innocuous way that does not affect Ms. Reed's rights.
Okay.
This way it does.
Okay, it was a clear question that the defense first told me to ignore. So
I didn't
is
tell
that.
you to ignore anything, Your Honor.
All right, we are all set. So let's send this in, please.
All right, feisty. Listen, I don't really know what direction this. That was very feisty indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and that was how the day ended at 3:37 or so, or 3:57. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we ended for the day. Now, there was a slight hot mic moment. I'm not promising we can find it right now. It was right around when the first, right around when this sidebar was ending. I think there was a hot mic moment. Let's see if we can hear it.
can't do this.
Okay, yeah, so that was Alan Jackson looking at Bob and saying, Bob, I can't do this. Bob, I can't do this. So let's watch the moments. The mic cuts off. But look, let's listen to it again. You were right, whoever said there was a hot mic. Cinnamon buns, listen to this.
Bob, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Bob, I can't do this. Bob, I can't do this. It's right here, Cinnamon Buns. We got it. I mean, that was the moment. And he's saying, Bob, I can't do this. Bob, I can't do this. Hello, Jackie Blue. That's hilarious, chit chat and coffee. I think it could be him saying he can't do it that quickly. I don't think he's saying he can't do it again. I think he's saying he can't do the form that quickly. I don't think he said again. We'll listen to the hot mic. This is during the recap too, but all we have left in the recap is the Karen clips because that's what the jury is going to view. So let's listen one more time. Hold on. I don't know. Yeah, the defense team is very upset here, and I'm not sure exactly what they're saying, but let's listen again.
Bob, I can't do this. I can't do this.
No, he's not saying again. Jackson is saying, Bob, I can't do this. Bob, I can't. It says the mic cuts out, but it's Bob, I can't do this. Bob, I can't. And then the mic cuts out. One more. Let's listen again.
Bob, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Bob, I can't do this. I can't do this. That's what he says. And he might be saying, it might be Jackson saying to Alessi, I can't do this right now because I have to do something else. Also, no, I don't think my mom is definitely not Nember Cracker. She can barely operate one X account, not to mention two. God bless Tal Mom. She's doing her best. Def Otter, remind me tomorrow. Someone sent me their contact info that they want me to send to you because they don't have X, so I'll send it to you on X. Also, yeah, so I think it was like, Bob, I can't do this. I can't do this right now because, yeah, me too, Respect. I feel you. The only thing we have left on the recap is the Karen clips. And the reason we have to watch the Karen clips is because someone made a great point up above in the chat, which was the jury was probably, one holdout was probably saying, no, we can't consider these, and now they have confirmation they can. So now we got to watch the Karen clips, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think there's really any better way to determine what the jury just thought about for the past 4 hours. You saw it there. And by the way, I'm hearing confirmation that the fourth question came in before the jury got the answer to the first three questions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? And also, I want to say hello to our Super Towel Beach Nance, who's on a cruise right now. Did you know we got video, ladies and gentlemen, of Super Towel Beach Nance on their cruise? Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Chewbacca and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man were visiting. But really, we got a wonderful look into the deep blue ocean from Beach Nance. And we're going to watch the Karen clips now, but I just wanted to show you that first. Oh, and I also have wonderful news. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very possible that 4 Call Me Hank shirts have been shipped out. I had to pay for these out of pocket because of a complex series of events. The rest of the shirts are going to take 4 to 6 weeks to process. But if your name ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say your actual names, but if you happen to have ordered towel shirts, if you were order number 8, yes, if you were order number 8, if you were order number, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, if you were order number 9, ladies and gentlemen, order number 9, if you were order number 10, if you were order number 10, yes, lucky number 10, ladies and gentlemen, as of now, order 9, number 10, and number 8, 8, 9, and 10, I have confirmation that they are on the way to you. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Wicked Uma, sometimes we have to clear our heads from this. But oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to announce that 3 Call Me Hank shirts, maybe one more, are on the way. Our towel friends within 3 days are going to be able to share with us, hopefully, their Call Me Hank shirts. I'm excited. Now, I'm not going to do the Call Me Hank towel store in the middle of the recap. We are going to watch Karen clips. Oh, Colleen Henry, don't worry. There was just, the orders are coming. Towel has a plan. Every order is submitted. I have to work on Eva's order because we have to cancel that one, and she's going to submit one with like an actual size, not a unisex size, because they set it up wrong at first. We're going to fix that one. But every other one had size options available. Every other one is fine. You can't order sizes of the towel. It is just a towel. But also, I don't want to get too distracted. I'm so excited about the Call Me Hank shirts. But what I want to do is show you the Karen clips, because obviously the jury just spent a lot of time over the past few hours. Now that they got confirmation, they can look at the Karen clips. So we're going to bring the Karen clips right into the middle of your screen, and we're going to watch what I think the jury might be watching. Yes, Wicked Uma, sometimes every once in a while we have to do things like go for hikes in nature, beach dances on a cruise. We have to remember that even when we pay attention to these cases, when we memorize them, when we become enmeshed in the details in order to pursue justice and ward off the usurpation of our representative forms of government, we do need times for ourselves. We need times to sleep. We need time to unwind, to relax, to decompress. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that, along with standing against the flow of opinion on hotly contested issues in spite of the personal dangers and consequences and pressures, is the basis of all human morality. Shout out Ted Sorensen. Shout out JFK. Shout out Hank Brennan.
Play clip 26.
So, I thought, could I have run him over? Did he try to get me as I was leaving and I didn't know it? I mean, I've always got the music blasting. It's snowing. I got the wipers going, the heater blasting. Did he come and hit the back of my car and I hit him in the knee and he's drunk and passed out and asphyxiated or something? And then when I hired David Yannetti, I asked him those questions the night of January 29th. Like, David, what if, I don't know, what if I ran his foot over or what if I clipped him in the knee and he passed out or went to care for himself and he threw up or passed out, and David said, yeah, then you have some element of culpability.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth rests.
Karen, what can we expect from the defense? Will you testify?
TBD.
How long will your case last?
1.5 to 2 weeks.
How are you feeling after today?
I feel very good, thank you.
So we approach from the north, we actually missed the turn, and John says to me, it's Fairview, we just passed it, it's back there, it's on my left. I said, all right, so I pull nose into a driveway and back out onto the street, which I now own as Cedar Crest, and then you come from the north onto Fairview.
Like the next play, clip 25. finally, clip 24.
I do. I mean, I'll tell you, John and I argued the morning of the 28th, Friday morning. So we think he died right around 12:25, 12:30 on the early morning of January 29th.
Thank you.
Hey, guys. Very good. How are y'all? Any reaction to the clips, Karen, that are being played?
No.
So John's laying there, his left and his right, and I approach John from the left. That's where the street is. And he had a piece of glass, like, perched on his nose, like, just wedged like a splinter would be. And I just pulled it, and as soon as I pulled it, it just gushed blood down his face. Totally more than Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe, it's me or her. Either I'm going down, Jen, or you are.
There's innuendo here that you guys have really been going at it. This was sort of had like a last date element to it. Was that going on?
That was not going on. John made it clear to me, I'm never breaking up with you. You know, not never that we're in this good or bad, but you're the best person I've ever.
The Commonwealth would ask to show clip 19.
Okay.
I don't see how John would have known about my text with Brian. And I'm not sure if he knew he would have reacted very strongly. I think we would have broken up, but I don't think John would have lost it and caused a fight. I didn't feel like John's emotions with me got really strong. And in the cold, did he come to again?
And this was the moment you were dropping him off at the party.
Yeah, would have had to. And his mother leans over the kitchen island and says to me, I think it looks like you got hit by a car. It looks like you got hit by a car.
All right, who's your next witness, Mr. Brennan?
Next witness is Jean DeMoulis.
Karen, did you see John go in the house? I did. You saw him go in the house?
I saw John go in the house. Can you describe him going into the house? Which door and how and when?
No, I have, though, and I'm sure the prosecution will play it.
John looked like a buffalo on the prairie. It was just a lawn and a heat that it wasn't a bush or a hydrant or a dog. It was a weird shaped lump at that time in those elements. And I was looking to find him on the side of the road. I was expecting I'd find him. I was looking to find him on the side of the road. I was expecting I'd find him. So when John got out of the car at Brian Albert's house, he took my full vodka soda, which is sitting in the cup holder.
Thank you.
The comment? Thank you.
All right, your next witness.
One more, please, Your Honor. The Commonwealth moves into evidence and seeks to play clip number 17, please.
Okay.
I gave an interview with ABC with Matt Gutman. I think this was whom I gave the interview to, and I said, he asked why was I saying, could I hit him, did I hit him? And I said, yeah, my first thought was, I've been out late, I've been drinking, and he's in the general vicinity of where I last saw him. I mean, they talk about the left side of the property and the right as if it's, you know, Hammersmith Farms. It's a postage stamp. It's 50 feet. So he's in the front yard to the left of the front door, and no one's coming out of the house. Jen's telling me nobody's seen him. So I'm thinking, Jesus, was I starting to pull away and I ran over his foot? Like, he's roughly where I left him. So yeah, when I found him, I was thinking, did I like clip him somehow?
Anything more to say about the clip that was played today?
No, thank you.
What about the clip that's inaudible? Can you say what's in that clip?
I'm sorry, Matt.
How about the, do you remember making those phone calls to him?
Yes.
What was your emotion?
All right, Ms. Roberts, please. Okay, thank you.
We'd like to play this first and then call Ms.
Oh, okay,
Roberts.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I remember it, but I questioned what I remember it because it's been relived so much. I mean, when I see the video of me driving from the waterfall, like what I just described, tapping the brakes when I crossed the intersection, Washington over Sherman Street, do I actually remember that I kind of slowly proceeded through that green light? No, I don't actually remember that. But I've seen the video so many times that you then question, did I remember it on my own? Or was my memory jogged? But I also wondered, did I say, could I have hit him? Or was it told to me that I said I hit him? And I knew I never could have said that, so the closest I must have said was, did I hit him? And I know I said I hit him, but did I really say it as many times as law enforcement's claiming I said it?
Thank you. I now call Kelly Roberts.
When you walked out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
I had probably about 4. And not 4 that I completed either. I didn't drink maybe more than a few sips at the waterfall.
And 4 drinks you felt fine to drive?
Yep.
Clip 8, please.
Okay.
And is the level of intoxication pretty high here for everybody?
It's happy.
Yeah.
It's
You'd had a lot to drink, right?
I wouldn't say I have like a normal amount. What's it like a vodka tonic every 40 minutes?
Okay. And so are you feeling like buzzed? And I'm not judging, I'm just trying to get a sense.
Buzzed.
Yeah.
Clip 9, please.
The final count of my alcohol intakes, probably about 5 or 6 or 4. The drinks that they were pouring me at McCarthy's, which is where I consumed most of the alcohol, was the weakest vodka tonic. It tasted just like buzz. And then there was one drink, the last one that was given to me, which I would have counted as 3, but they're counting as my 6th cocktail. The guys that we were with brought around shots, and they gave me one that I didn't drink, but I poured it in my drink. So that's now my 5th and 6th drinks, with the 7th, which is a shot that all the men did, and I poured it. So that one glass that I'm holding, that I go into the waterfall with, has 3 drinks in it, a vodka tonic and 2 shots. And which is why John said to me, you're not leaving that drink here, like you haven't touched it and just poured a bunch of onions, like just take it with you, which was something he always did. So then I go into waterfall and I put that drink down and I socialize most of the time. So that would have been my 5th, 6th, and 7th drinks. Then John orders me a drink at the waterfall that I don't drink, that he takes with him. And then there was a round of shots that Chris Howard bought that I did take. So that would have been the night. But I did not consume 9 vodka martinis or take 9 shots, depending on how you count it. And the last 2 drinks I didn't touch.
Clip 10, please.
I mean, I'm not as clear as I would be if I hadn't been drinking. I mean, I had drank, so, and that led me to question, like, could I have hit him? Did I run over his foot or hit him in the knee? Did I incapacitate him? I mean, I always drive with my music blasting ever since I was 16. And I know when John got out of the car to go into Fairview, I know my car was blasting because when I got in it the next morning to go look for him, I had to immediately turn it down. And I don't know, it's stormy. I have had a few cocktails. I didn't black out, but I wasn't as lucid as I would have been if I had gone to bed at 9 and drank a tea. But so I was fuzzier than I would have been if I had had no alcohol.
Clip 11, please.
How did you feel after that movement? When you got in the car, did you feel like you could drive and feel how rough up? I wouldn't have gotten on the expressway. I wouldn't have gotten on the expressway at 12:15 on January 29th. I mean, it was quiet. The roads were very quiet. You can see it on the videos. And I was going, you know, when I've had a few drinks and I drive, I always drive extra slow. So I know my alerts aren't as sharp as they should be. But I shouldn't have been driving. But I don't think I was driving. I know I wasn't driving recklessly. I mean, I've got plenty of video of myself driving all over the place. And I put my car in John's garage, which is incredibly narrow, and I had a very oversized SUV. You see me, there's a video of me driving through the intersection when we leave Waterfall to go to Brian Albert's, and I was always taught by my father, even when you have a green light, you always should tap the brake. You don't know who's going to run red. And I see me doing that multiple times between 12 and 1 and 5 and 6 a.m. So I know I was driving safely, not as safely or as alert as I would be if I had no alcohol. But I was not driving recklessly by any measure.
Thank you.
Heard it, folks. There you heard it. That was the moment. So this was Towel's reaction. And we're going to jump forward because another clip starts very shortly. Hold on, a little before that.
8, 10 seconds.
I'm sorry.
All right, you can play them now.
May I proceed?
Yes.
I'd like to play clip 12, please.
There was a woman who was a mother to kids that were close to John's kids who lived very close to the Alberts. In fact, when Jen was navigating John to the Alberts when I was driving, she said it's near Ashley's house. Ashley and John were hooked up prior to John and I dating. There
Hold on before you play it
We've
again.
already played that one. We don't need to play it again.
Okay.
12A, please.
Two things. Either he's hurt himself and is incapacitated. He could be passed out on someone's couch, which is just weird. We're not on a campus. Everyone lives in their own room with children. Or he's sleeping with someone. And there were multiple women in the neighborhood of Fairview that John had been with. And one of them very recently, before I started dating John.
Clip 16, please.
We'll backtrack later to the time let's start at 34 Fairview. So who are you with? Pull up and let us see. I'm with Jen McCabe and Carrie Roberts. And Carrie Roberts is Ford Explorer. And I'm in the back, leaning over the front two seats. Carrie's driving and Jen's in the passenger seat. And I described this to everyone, so you've probably heard this before, but John looked like a buffalo on the prairie. It was just a lawn and a heat that it wasn't a bush or a hydrant or a dog. It was a weird shaped lump at that time in those elements. And I was looking to find him on the side of the road. I was expecting I'd find him. And the fear of what I was going to see is the worst feeling I've ever experienced. The anticipation of what is awaiting me was as extreme a feeling. I wouldn't say it was as extreme a feeling as the grief of realizing what happened to him.
And then we don't see the next clip. Ladies and gentlemen, just absolutely devastating to consider that the jurors may have gone back and watched those clips as a compilation. Ladies and gentlemen, per Commander Towell, John DePetro, this is the reporting from John DePetro. Ladies and gentlemen, John DePetro has accepted the honorary title, the formal title of Commander Towell. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, John DePetro has accepted the title of Commander Towell, and here you go, ladies and gentlemen. The report is breaking with Karen Reed trial. Karen clips are considered evidence to the jury. New ballgame, manslaughter in play. Verdict watch continues. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is a big, big day. The Karen clips are... Oh, this is what I wanted to report. Hold on. I hope I didn't... oh, no, I retweeted John's wrong tweet. Hold on. I now have to... After working so hard... hold on. I have to discard this one. And then I have to go get John's actual tweet, which is up on your screen. It's actually the top one on his screen per Commander Towell John DePetro. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it right there. This is the way that we're going to end we're not going to end the stream, but end the recap. Oh my word, ladies and gentlemen, big news from Commander Towell John DePetro that per courthouse sources, jury spent the afternoon watching the Karen clips. Manslaughter in play. Bad news for Karen. Jury keeps watching the montage. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that is from Commander Towell, reporter John DePetro himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this news coming in right now. I repeat, little towels right now from John DePetro. This is just coming in from John DePetro. Now, I want to analyze a few different things. One, I think it was Red Sky made an excellent point that here's my conclusion of today's wrap-up as we wait for deliberations to resume. Towel Stream will start at a special time, 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, 2 hours, as we are going to do a special prayer, a non-denominational prayer together for the O'Keefe family and justice for John in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, 7 a.m. Eastern. Second, someone made an excellent point, I think it was Red Sky, about how Turtle Boy's trial has to happen, or conversely, Karen needs to be charged with witness intimidation or indicted with aid in cooperating, if there is a third retrial for Karen Reed. The dynamics in play surrounding the trial. The key insight here is that the dynamics in play surrounding the trial, the jury poisoning, the turtle boy running around like a little Oompa Loompa, all of that, ladies and gentlemen, that I can tell you is the X factor. You can put Hank Brennan up there and put on the most brilliant case that anyone has seen in the American legal profession in the past 50 years, literally a masterpiece, a work of art that should be hung in a museum if that were possible. Ladies and gentlemen, if that can't do it, then the X factor is the circumstances surrounding the trial, the poison jury pool, the jury selection process, the influence around the courthouse. We must understand that if this happens, if there is a retrial, therefore either Karen being charged with witness intimidation and Aiden cooperating, or Karen being charged with witness intimidation without Aiden cooperating, related to the retrial is the X factor, and Aiden's trial going forward first. That type of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, remember Aiden Turtleboy Kearney faces 10 open felony counts in Norfolk Superior Court that survived a motion to dismiss, plus 2 more felony counts, and these are all related to witness intimidation or oral interception of illegal interception of oral communication involving either Karen Reed trial witnesses like Colin Albert or Chris Albert or Lindsay Gattani. And then 2 more felonies are indicted, so Aiden has 14 open indictments in Norfolk Superior Court related to witness intimidation. So you could definitely say Aiden's fame has come at a price, ladies and gentlemen, or his notoriety related to this case. And furthermore, there's no question that the dynamics surrounding the case, the influence on the jurors, the toxic atmosphere, that has to change. That's the X factor. Red Sky, I think, was absolutely spot on about that, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. We've enjoyed watching that recap. I'm right now lauding John DePietro for his excellent Commander Towel worthy reporting, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to say this. So we're back at 7 a.m. tomorrow Eastern, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the Karen clip montage. That was absolutely a day, ladies and gentlemen. It was a day the defense, I'm sure, is ruminating on to this moment. If you saw Karen coming out of court, the moments were just stunning, ladies and gentlemen. The moments were stunning. We can take a look at them. I do have them available for our review, Little Towels. So let's take a look at the moment Karen Reed walked out of court and after the day of deliberations. And to say that Karen Reed has lost her groove and has not gotten it back would be an understatement. So let me show you these moments right here, Little Towels. I got to make the screen a little bit wider for you, but we will watch the moments that Karen Reed and her attorneys left court to close our recap here. It was a relatively short recap, only about an hour and 13 minutes. Abnormally short, ladies and gentlemen, but we only had to cover 4 jury questions and a little bit of discussion about them, and then we watched Karen clips, and then we talked about how I'm a towel. And you might be saying to yourself, sir, I know you are a towel. Please, you can continue to let me know, and I will continue to be proud of you. Okay, I will absolutely do that. There's no doubt in my mind. I will continue to let you know that I am a towel. In fact, I'm going to do that constantly because that's the whole stream is based around the fact that we are all towels. I'm not sure what to tell you about that. You're just going to have to adjust to it. If you want to know why the towel thing exists, it's because someone said my pronouns were towel in January of 2024, and I said, okay, I'm absolutely willing to become an anthropomorphic towel. Did you know, first of all, there's a towel in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but furthermore, did you know that the anthropomorphic towel in South Park, that's why I love Skylar, the South Park fan, did you know the anthropomorphic towel in South Park maybe gets a little high, okay, just a little bit high on mountains. He likes to climb up the mountains, okay, and then he solves complex social issues without really realizing it, okay, ladies and gentlemen, and he's a government-created robot towel, although I'm not created by the government, but I just think that part's hilarious, and he finds himself in all these weird situations, and then sometimes things go okay, and then other times he's like, oh no, this is terrible, how has this happened? I'm a towel. And then he also says to people, don't forget to bring a towel, which I think is hilarious. You don't understand. And so anyway, that's where the whole towel thing comes from. Someone said my pronouns were towel, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm warm and fluffy. I am anthropomorphic. I am a towel. Wait a minute, this is wonderful. And then over 18 months, we all became towels. Towelettes, washcloths, paper towels, flannels, soap dispensers, electric hand dryers, beach towels, hemp towels, microfiber towels. There's so many towels, ladies and gentlemen. I think people are blue hand towels. There are so many towels, ladies and gentlemen. We love all of our towels. Someone is a moist towelette. That is absolutely okay. We welcome you in the towel fold. The only things that aren't towels are Karen Reed, Alan Jackson, and stainless steel surfaces. Now, therefore, if Karen Reed is not a towel, right, and stainless steel surfaces are not a towel, then by virtue of a logical inductive proof, right, A equals B, B equals C, A equals B, B equals C, A equals C, then Karen Reed is a stainless steel surface. I don't really know what that means. I just want it to be known that I've done a logical inductive proof and Karen Reed is a stainless steel surface. And you may be saying to yourself, no sir, Karen Reed is not a stainless steel surface. That makes absolutely no sense. Well, have you considered that almost everything in the world is a towel unless it cannot pick things up, and stainless steel surfaces cannot absorb liquids. Therefore, Karen Reed is a towel. Not a towel. I mean, she's a stainless steel surface. Where is this video of Karen Reed leaving court? What time exactly did she leave court? I don't remember. It had to be right after the verdict clock ended. Hold on. We actually saw her leave court. Did we go away from it and then cut back in? Hold on. Where is it? Where are you leaving court, Karen Reed? I literally know I watched it because I literally said, that is a Karen Reed leaving court, and then I watched Karen Reed leaving court. So hold on. When did we watch it? When did we watch it? I literally, oh, hold on, was it right around the fan? No, it wasn't then. Hold on. It was quick, but it wasn't that quick. When did we watch it? I know we have it. Karen Reed leaving court. Oh, was this it? No, that was me asking questions to Karen Reed. Did I then break in to show Karen Reed leaving court? Or was that at one of the breaks? Hold on. And then it was right before we started our recap, maybe? All right, hold on. Yep, it was. Hold on. Yep, I got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch Karen Reed leaving court to end our day. I forgot just how long I fell backwards. Or I had gone back. So hold on, we're going to jump forward here. We're going to wait for the moments that Karen Reed left court. I think we watched it a few times, so I'm just going to jump forward. I'm a time-traveling towel. Oh, I think this is it. Hold on. Yep, this was it. So I'm going to go back. This was Karen Reed leaving court after that day, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me what you think of how the defense is doing.
Thanks, guys. There's not going to be any comments today.
That was it, friends. She ran. She ran so far away until another day. Goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness, goodness, goodness. So, tomorrow, 7 a.m. This is just the end of the recap. Don't worry if you're the towel friends. We're going to keep talking to each other, but you can find more youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. We will be together tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern. More jury deliberations, 16 hours and 3 minutes and 12 seconds done. More to come. Karen clips being watched. I'm going to go chat with the towel friends. Have a blessed day, friends. All right, 5:32 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Not a bad time to end our recap. Now, you know what we're going to play. You know exactly what we're going to play. You know I love spending time with you. Listen, after looking at all of that, I'm feeling just a little bit more confident, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit more confident. Hearing John DePietro's reporting, hearing that the Karen clips are in play, ladies and gentlemen, big news, big developments, and you know exactly what is coming, towel friends. You know what we're going to watch. I think Colleen Henry knows what we're going to watch. I think every person on this side of the Mississippi, well, in fact, every person on this side of every ocean, because there's 97 countries that watch the stream, know exactly what is coming. And yes, it's that. Yes, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's coming. Karen's in a panic, which means there's a clip we have to watch. I'm excited. And by the way, if you didn't hear the news, ladies and gentlemen, someone has stolen the Call Me Hank shirt. I'm not kidding you. The Call Me Hank shirt is so powerful. It has risen to such prominence that someone stole it. I have to file a copyright claim because they stole my Call Me Hank shirt. You don't understand. I'm a towel who made a Call Me Hank shirt, and then someone stole it and my image because it was that good. So therefore, I'm going to show you the Call Me Hank clip, and then I'm going to tell you how to get the Call Me Hank shirt from the official source and not from this random person who stole my design. How dare you? How dare you, sir? You don't understand. I am a towel. And you can't just stand around and do things like be like, oh, I'm going to make a towel shirt when it's my image. Oh, goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness, goodness, goodness. We have had towel theft. Towel's intellectual towel property was stolen. It is an outrageous. It's outrageous, ladies and gentlemen. Someone stole the Call Me Hank shirt. I am an incredulous towel. I have had my towel intellectually Your response was you're a towel. Listen, you don't understand. This channel is wonderful because we have inverted meme culture. The youngest viewer on this channel is like 24. So there is no one under the, and Ann Twittick is 27. There is no one under the age of 24 on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. And we have our own memes. And this towel thing is starting to become a little, I first was saying it's a cultural phenomena, but I think it spans cultures now. We have towel friends in Germany. Ich bin ein Towel. Hello, I am a towel. We have towel friends in Spain. Yo soy una toalla. I am a towel. We have towel friends in Portugal. No falamos portuguese. Lo siento. That was half Portuguese and half Spanish. We have friends in the United Kingdom. I can speak United Kingdom. For example, I could tell you, if you said to me, Grant, do you want to go to Hole in the Wall and then go down the Chippy after we go to the nightclub or the disco, I'd be like, yes, I want to go to the Chippy after we go to the Hole in the Wall so I can visit the nightclub. You don't understand. I love going to the Chippy. I also love Hole in the Walls. Even though it sounds weird, it's just an ATM machine. I speak British, clearly. I also love our friends in Ireland. Now, listen, I don't know if we should send Towel to Ireland. Towel is very sympathetic to oppressed people, and I'm pretty sure I would incite some kind of international conflict. I don't think I should go there. But if you send me there with a diplomatic flotilla, maybe I can be okay. It will be like when the Jesuits went to H Block. But anyway, I think I was talking a little bit about how we have lots of towel friends all around the world, and they like to Call Me Hank clip, whether you're in all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Honduras, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Venezuela, Bahamas, Bermuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, the Faroe Islands, which apparently is part of the UK, but is identified as its own country. I'm not really sure what the Faroe Islands is. Don't quote me. I'm working on it. Iceland, Greenland, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Holland, Germany, as I mentioned. We love our German friends. Italy, I think Egypt is on there. Hold on, I have to say the countries. Mozambique, of course, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Australia, India, of course, cannot forget India, Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Australia, Sri Lanka's on there now, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Japan, Ukraine is on there as well, Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to get to Azerbaijan, but I have not penetrated the Azerbaijani market yet. I've always wanted to go to Baku. It's a long story. I don't have time to explain. Anyway, I give that preface to say that I truly enjoy saying hello to all you towel friends, and that really was just an excuse for me to bring up the Call Me Hank clip, because we love the Call Me Hank clip, ladies and gentlemen. And Murder by Maestro, who is the super towel, helped me create a stabilized and color fixed version of it. Well, the colors were from the actual camera, but it's much better in this version. Let's watch it. Colleen Henry is an excited towel. I know we're all excited towels. Let's do it.
You as well, Mr. Brennan. Okay, sir, I will, Hank. You as well, Mr. Brennan. Okay, sir, I will, Hank.
We may have to play it a few times. It's a tradition.
You as well, Mr. Brennan. Okay, sir, I will, Hank.
Yes, I'm somewhat convinced. I love the clip. I'm somewhat convinced. Hold on, that Hank, we got to watch that part one more time.
You as well, Mr. Brennan. Okay, sir, I will, Hank.
Oh no, towel friends. Oh no. I was so excited. Thank you. It's fixed, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I got so excited by the Call Me Hank clip. You don't understand. I was saying a few things. One, I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if Hank Brennan watches this stream because clearly there's a lot of towel friends around the world. Then, and this is why I have to repeat this, I was profusely saying to Holistic Psychology, and I'm so sorry I was muted for this, I am blushing with towel embarrassment. You are supported and loved, my dear friend. Anything that Towel can do or that we can do to help you, you just let us know. Any support that we can provide, if we can do some kind of towel promotion of you, if you would like to find some support or whatever. If you'd just like a place to chat with us, we're here for you as well. But you know, you have friends here, dear Holistic Psychology, and it means so much to all of us towels that you're with us. And yes, I apologize for that muted audio for a few seconds there. Towel was listening to the Call Me Hank clip, and then I went into a 30-second soliloquy about how I wanted to have our towel friends embrace in the warm, fluffy fabric of the towel universe our dear friend Holistic Psychology, and I was muted, and my eyes were closed, so I didn't see your chat saying I was muted. In short, I'm a super towel. And so is Holistic Psychology. But listen, we love the Call Me Hank clip, and there's a few other things we do at the end of the stream here. Hold on, we do love the Call Me Hank clip. But if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to bring this up. I worked a little hard on something for you all. If you all have been just tuning in, I hate becoming Towel Vanna White, but we didn't do any donation reads today. We didn't use Super Towels who sent chats, of course. I was so grateful to be able to say thank you. We're going to do a special panel whenever a verdict comes down so that we can all talk, whatever the decision, and Harvard Yard's going to be on it. It's going to be amazing. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you this. Towel worked hard. This is a public information service, okay? It's designed to engender cogent public discourse and educate, inform, and entertain the wider public. We use entertainment as a hook, moments of levity, even among serious discussions, to get people talking in a way that helps them become informed consumers of information, thus warding off the usurpation of our representative forms of government by self-interested actors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I bring that up is I didn't do any donation reads today, but some of you still send support. You're amazing. There is a way you can actually now, ladies and gentlemen, support Towel Editor and Towel. And the way to do that, or well, at least Towel Editor for now, the way to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is you are able to take a look at this Towel chat, and you are able to, oh, God bless you, cinnamon buns. You are able to, and as of course you're praising me, I have to become Towel Vanna White, but it's because I forgot to share this with some of you earlier, and some of you had asked, and we just played the Call Me Hank clip. So some of you have asked, I am about to become Towel Vanna White. Okay, so I have to do it this way because I'm inverted. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Aiden Kearney as an Oompa Loompa. But to the right of Aiden Kearney as an Oompa Loompa is the Call Me Hank shirts. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Maybe I should make one of the some of the shirts, some of the quotes where Towel is yelling questions at Karen. It's like, Karen, did you go back to Jen McCabe's? Did you go back to Fairview Road at 523 before going to Jen McCabe's? Yes, levity, moments of levity are important. But the other thing I want to tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to announce that Towel, in the interest of trying to support Towel Stream, but also giving back to you, has created Towel shirts. Now, you might be saying, wow, Towel, those are Call Me Hank shirts, and that's your image. Yes, I'm very excited. If you take a look, you can go to toweltribune.com, towel, TOWELTRIBUNE.com/store, and you will find, ladies and gentlemen, this wonderful Call Me Hank shirt. Now, this Call Me Hank shirt has a picture taken by Hot Towel, and the quote is, "You can call me Hank," and it's Hank's picture. Now, I did not actually come up with this. You all asked me to make this, and so I did it. You can order it again, toweltribune.com/store. There's a bunch of different sizing options for each one, ladies and gentlemen. And then the other thing I want to show you as I have this up here is there's a blue option. I went with a single line for this quote. That's the blue Call Me Hank shirt. We also have a Call Me Hank backpack. This is Towel Shopping Network time, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, you have tuned in to Towel Shopping Network. Now, if you've ever woken up in the morning and you've said to yourself, I wish I could walk outside and wear Hank Brennan around as a backpack. This is why I cannot do this. If you put me on a show to sell something, I would just start laughing. Anyway, if you've ever thought to yourself, I want to wear Hank Brennan on a backpack, there is a Hank Brennan backpack. It is the image that I took, and the quote says, "You can call me Hank." You don't understand. It's a backpack. I think it's glorious. I know some of you have heard this hilarious Vanna White thing before. It's still wonderful. The Call Me Hank socks are also adorable. And then, listen, this is the one that I'm most proud of. Not the sweatshirt's cool. But I, ladies and gentlemen, have literally gone and created a towel that says, "I'm a towel." So, to all of you out there who have been wondering when I was going to do this, I told you not until the close of evidence, not until deliberations. I didn't feel comfortable. I finally did it. I created a towel that you can get that says, "I'm a towel." There's also a Call Me Hank switch. Oh, yes. Now, let me, some people really like the things at the bottom, the crop hoodies. So there are two options, all right? We have the Under Armour black hoodie. All of these are available now. There was one order, which I'm going to fix later tonight, that went out in unisex size or something that I'm going to cancel, and then that person can reorder it in any size. Every single option now, including this wonderful crop hoodie, which apparently people think is very cute, now this is a special collection, I think, from Printful and one of their partners. I don't know the fashion brand. You will have to look it up. But all I know is that this is a cropped Call Me Hank hoodie, ladies and gentlemen. It has the "You Can Call Me Hank" shirt. It is a cropped hoodie. I agree, Def Otter. I think it is adorable. So all of these are available on toweltribune.com/store. To order them, please take a look at the ordering information. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for initial towel processing and delivery. If you are ordering outside of the domestic U.S., please check all the fine print. Please, it does ship to the EU, but please make sure that you look at your shipping times. I don't think it's as quick to ship to like Oklahoma as it is to Germany. So just everybody get on the same page. You're ordering from a drop shipper. I did not buy T-shirts. I would bankrupt myself and sell them to you. You are using a drop shipper. But that said, I had a really fun time designing these, and these are Towels images. And as you can see, I tried to be tasteful. It's the Call Me Hank merchandise and the towel. That's it. No images of John, nothing else related to the case. This is what I'm comfortable with for now. Maybe I will put up like a Super Hank shirt without the Superman logo, just like a Super Hank shirt. Maybe I will put up a few other things I've been thinking about. There's been some requests. Call me Hank Towel. But for that, ladies and gentlemen, I am having a great time. Yes, and the best thing about the towel is that it is actually a towel. So when you say to people, ladies and gentlemen, this is my towel, it tells them that it's a towel. And what's even more cool is that the towel is actually a picture of me standing there like a proud little towel with my journalist hat on with my mustache. And all these lawyers are in the background and politicians waving around towel stories, being like, we're going to get you, towel. And I'm like, well, I'm a towel. So, yes. Whoa. Hold on. Apparently, Turtle Boy has pictures of them. Okay, Trumpy Lightning, thank you so much for this clip. I want to take a look at it first thing tomorrow morning. So let me do a few things here. Trumpia Lightning video, Deaf Otter. I'm queuing up things for tomorrow because I really do need to sleep. Yesterday was just a lot of things have been a lot. There's just been a lot going on. But yes, I want to review this whole video that you sent, Trumpia Lightning, from Loophole Lawyer, it seems. And I would love to watch this tomorrow about whether Turtle Boy might have pictures. Oh, Rachel, I'm so honored. Folks are considering supporting toweltribune.com/store. I'm trying to make this efficient. Like, I'm trying not to just be like, let's get Towel day to day. I'm trying to set up Towel editor Chris to get this going, and then Towel's got to do some things, and then I'll get it set up hopefully in the next little bit, and in the next 2 years. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't, so be it. But Towel's going to try as hard as he can, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. But yes, I am very interested to see what Turtle Boy, this video about Turtle Boy. So thank you, Trumpia Lightning. And then also thank you in particular to everyone who's been supporting Towel Stream. Now, would you mind if we did a truncated overview tonight, friends? Because I've been saying hello to you, a lot of you during the stream. So I think what I'd like to do is, oh, goodness, Linda A. Okay, so hold on. Let me get the PayPal link for Linda A., especially if Towel friends are going to be so kind. Let me see. So the PayPal link, and let me just make sure this works. Sorry about that. So I think this should work. You're so kind. Thank you, Linda. You are so kind to ask. This link should work. God bless you, Linda, for asking. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope every single one of you has a good night. We have a tradition here to end the stream after. So I normally would do like a donation read every 90 minutes. We just skipped that. How long did we go for today? We didn't go for that long. It was only a few hours today, right? Yeah, like, what was it? About 11 hours, 10 and a half, 11 hours. So not a 12-hour day. I think, thank you, Linda. God bless you. And so in some sense, I think having a little bit of a less day, like 10 and a half hours, is a little better for Towel. It'll give me a little bit of time to take a rest. I want to go for a walk. I kind of want to clear my towel head a little bit. And I think we should all do that tonight. So maybe that will be our truncated overview. I normally would read all of your names, but my voice is tired. I think we're all tired. We deserve a good night's rest. The Hank backpacks are awesome. I just want to let you know. Yeah, Trumpia Lightning, I think we're all doing breathing exercises tonight. I want to do one more of these with you today, friends. If you ever feel the need, I learned this from someone in the chat, I think, and they've referenced where they picked it up, and forgive me for forgetting the person who created this technique, but I really like it. If you ever get stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, remember to take that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with a deep breath and then an exhale. And even in these stressful moments, as we begin to await another day of deliberation, that's exactly, I think, the type of thing that can help us all settle in and hopefully send the O'Keefe family some solace during these tense moments. Christmas Marm, thank you so much. I love your username. I love the word Marm because I know what it means. I love the word Christmas. You have a wonderful name. Wow, AI was used to describe the juror and their likeness. I'm going to be taking a look at that. Karen, it is scary. It's sickening. I agree with Alex. Oh, little towels, it has been an amazing day. I just want to thank everyone so much for all of their support. Christina Towel, I didn't miss your messages. We're going to do them on the morning show tomorrow. Towel just needs some extra rest tonight. But there is one thing that I want to do. I want to take the time, and I think I can do it this way, so I'm going to go to the back end. I just want to take some time to say a super towel thank you to Jack D65. Who sent a super towel hippo emoji. You don't understand. Some days when Towel is like really overwhelmed and running around like a mad towel, I come back to the screen or we're watching a clip and somebody sends an emoji and like all of a sudden I start giggling, and that's what gets me through the day. So as much as I know a lot of you appreciate Little Towel, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And I especially appreciate Irish Gal. We love and welcome our new Super Towel friend, Irish Gal. Please, guilty verdict, says Irish Gal. J.O. and family needs closure, and screw the conspiracy theories. Damn straight. Not to say that there aren't conspiracies out there. I think, obviously, Karen and the DOJ engaged in a conspiracy, in my opinion. But, you know, that's not a theory, in my opinion. That is based on an evidentiary trail. Harvard Yard, my dear friend, sincere question, Towel Grant. Sir, what do we do if there are not guilty verdicts? Can you open a source for chat or open dialogue, a panel? I'm trial fatigued and sad and mad if so. I'm going to keep posted. I'd love to you and all Towels united. I will join on camera for panel. Oh, Harvard Yard, super towel hugs to you, my friend. Of course, I have committed to memory that no matter what happens, okay, you might have to remind Little Towel because I get excitable during big moments. I'm going to note it right now, actually. I'm going in to my towel notepad, which has 6,000 lines, and I've been writing in it since May 5th, and I'm going to write Harvard Yard special panel, and we will do a panel no matter what the verdict, my dear friend. I also want to say a special thank you to Brenda Taylor. Love your show, Grant Smith Ellis. You're the best. God bless you and your family. Karen better get a guilty verdict. Manslaughter. I am happy you like my faith and opinion. Oh, you are wonderful, Brenda Taylor. Sydney Carson, Super Towel. I want to go say hello and say God bless you for becoming a Super Towel chat member. Oh, TB2. Sis and Jew drops. I forgot. So when I went to the doctor today, I put 3/4 in the meter, and my doctor's appointment ran, instead of 45 minutes, it ran like 53 minutes. And as I get back to the car, I'm like, there's no way I got a ticket. Yes, they got me within like a minute of the meter running out. And I was like, all right, I got to tip my hat. And then TB2, Sis, and Jew drops helped me cover my ticket. I'm going to pay the city of Somerville in Great British pounds. And then Harvard Yard started the day by saying, morning moment for all Eagles except Unetti. Well, okay, maybe. Happy potential verdict day. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you understand how much you mean to me all, how much all of you mean to me. And listen, if you've been here on these streams, you know no matter how I end, there's always the same ending, regardless of how we get there. All right. If you benefited from this stream, I'm going to take this towel down now. If you saw something today, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like you found friends, if you feel like you got through the day, if you like the calming blue ocean, if you appreciated our ability to come together and hold our towel buddies' hands, here's how you can pay it forward. You can look for reasons to do small acts of service. Yes, you can look for reasons to donate to our homeless veterans. You can look for reasons to donate to animal shelters run by veterans. You can look for reasons to donate to animal shelters in general. You can look for reasons to smile at someone on the street. You can look for reasons to shake someone's hand, call a family member you haven't spoken to in a while, talk to a friend, look for a reason to be a beacon of hope in a world defined by so much despair. Look for a reason to be one of the helpers. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps then, through those small acts of service rippling outwards in the world, it will be possible for us to bring about a new socio-political dynamic, not defined by the realpolitik of expanding, preserving, and demonstrating our power, but instead of an ethos centered on expanding, preserving, and demonstrating our capacity to engage in acts of unconditional love as made manifest in small acts of service and kindness. Yes, ladies and gentlemen and fellow towels, then we will bring about together the rise of the age of Aquarius, a new digital epoch, with the water bearer walking tall, waving his towel, saying, ladies and gentlemen, to the earth, that it is indeed possible to make this planet a better place, one small act of service at a time. I believe it's possible because of you. I think you give me a lot of faith as a towel in the future of this place that we all inhabit. And maybe that shared humanity, compassion, and toleration will come to define the day after all. Solace in each other, solace in our communities, solace in family, solace in our beliefs, and solace in country. Ladies and gentlemen, those 5 things can get us through anything. I truly believe it. Be the light, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with me today. As you know, we end a little bit early on the X stream because they get the towel friends over there, all 10,000 of them today. I didn't do a lot of posting, so it didn't get to 50K. All 10,000 of them today. I want to say a super towel thank you for being with us. And as you know, you get a few extra minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye to you first and then spend a few minutes with towel friends on the towel YouTube. Towel friends on the X, thank you for being here again. God bless you. Be well. We'll see you at 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow for further verdict watch in the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed retrial. Be well. Please be safe, and God bless you and appreciate you for being with me today. My name is Grant Smith Ellis, youtube.com/@Grant Smith Ellis if you want to join the towel chat tomorrow. We've been grateful to have you. Be well.